recording is on.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Mind Body Blend. And I have for you today a blend of both barre and Pilates. So a lot of core work, a lot of postural work, strengthening for the lower and upper body as well. I have a chair to use for balance in some of the barre exercises because we do a lot up on the toes. We do a lot standing on one leg. So you might need a chair for balance or maybe accessory to a wall. I also have light hand weights to strengthen through the shoulders and the upper body. I have a yoga strap and a block, and of course my mat. So make sure you're working at your own pace today and doing the modifications that feel best for your body. For some of you, if you haven't joined a class with me in a while, we've been off a couple weeks, we might have to ease back in. So let's get the music started, and we'll begin in a nice wide plie, our grand plie position. So you can take this position as wide as what feels comfortable for your body. Turn the toes out, make sure your knees are tracking in the direction of your feet. And we'll take the arms, sweeping them down, cross, and then cross above the head. Lower down and up. It's important to warm up the shoulders really gradually and just check in and see how they're feeling for you today. Let's add a plie, so coming down into a squat and reaching above the head. Down and up. You can make this a mini plie, small range of motion, or a grand plie is really low and deep into the legs. You choose. Make sure you're breathing this morning. Inhaling and exhaling at a nice rhythm. Good. Couple more. And up. Last one. And then hold the arms right out to the side, shoulders down. We'll stretch to the right for 3, 2, 1. Open back out. Left, 3, 2, 1. As you go with each number, try to take it a little deeper. So small one on 1, deeper on 2, all the way on 3. Now we go exhale, 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 breathe in. In Pilates, we typically exhale through the mouth with pursed lips and a nice inhale through the nose. 2 more each side. Knees are not locked. There's a little softness in the joint. Really stretching through the waistline. 1 more time each side. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. And hold center. Now we'll do that same rhythm with a twist, but sink down into the legs. Keep the shoulders back. Softly bend through your elbows. 3 twists to the right. 3, 2, 1, and center. 3, 2, 1. We're going a little farther on each count. So kind of take that twist and divide it into thirds. 1/3, 2/3, all the way, and center. 3, 2, 1. Now make sure you're not bouncing vigorously into this twist. You're using the control of your core and looking over that shoulder. 1 more each side. You might feel some work in your arms, just keeping them up. Last time left. 3, 2, 1, and center. Relax your arms down. Straighten your legs. We're going to start to shift our weight to the right side and the left side. If you need to adjust your stance, feel free to do that. We're going to take this nice and slow. Right and left. Now as you go right, sweep the right arm out. As you go left, the left arm comes around. So it's forward and around. And I want you to start to add a little bit of rotation of the body when you do this movement. Make it as big as you'd like with the shoulders. Breathing. 3 more to the right side. 2 more. Make sure your knees feel okay. If you need to lessen that range of motion, that's okay. Now hold it over to the right side right here. Place the hands right to the thigh. Stretch. So I'm sitting my hips back. Pick up the toe here. Lift, lower. Lift, lower. I want you to feel elongation through that left inner thigh. A little bit in your hamstring. When you pull the toes up, feel a stretch through your calf. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Come back up with the body. Now we'll start to the left side. Reach and sweep above the head. And we can exhale here. Big inhale. Reach. Really open up the chest as you bring that arm behind the body. We have 4 more. Excellent. So a lot of joints moving. We have our ankle joints, our knee joints, our hip joints. We're rotating through the spine and the shoulders. Last one. And then reach it out to the left. Hold. Place your hands right on your thighs. Sit your hips back. So I'm sitting into a little small squat. Pick up the toes. Flex and point. And we're just strengthening gently that muscle right in front of the shin. Good. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Come center. Bend both knees. Place your hands right towards your inner thighs. Twist to your right and push that left leg out just a little bit, stretching through the groin, the hip flexors. And then look to the other side behind you, pressing into that right inner thigh. Scoop your belly in, brace your abs. And then come to center. Keep your knees bent and reach your hands right down to the floor. You're doing a standing happy baby. And you can lower down as much as you'd like. Feel a little release through your lower back. Let your head relax. And then you can keep those knees bent a lot or start to straighten them up a little bit into a wide leg forward fold. Stretching through your hamstrings. 2 more breaths here to finish our warm-up. Then if your legs are straightened, rebend your knees and bring your hands back up towards your hips and rise all the way up out of that plie. Very nicely done. Step your feet together. You are going to need your chair as we start to move into bar. So the way I have mine situated is I can hold on to the top of the chair here. So hopefully that's nicely accessible for you. Turn your toes out. Now you might not need it, but it's there for you off that right side. So we'll lift up and step out into a wide plie. Lift and step out. So you might need the chair as you lift for balance. Then you can release it as you step open. Lift and out. Now, sometimes slower is harder because we're not using any momentum with our balance. So keep this at a nice pace. Calves working and legs. Calves and legs. The feet together is called position 1 in Pilates and ballet. Then we go into a wide plie squat. Good. And out. Now you can make it a little quicker, a little bit more rhythmical, and start to get your heart rate up a little bit if you want to speed this up. up and out. Nice job. The rhythm is yours. You can do whatever you like with your arms. Just a few more. Good. Stabilize through your abs. 2 more times. One more. And step back into that first position. Now just the heels lift and lower. I want you to find as much range of motion as you can in elevating up on the balls of the feet. My legs are squeezing tight together, so I'm activating inner thighs, lifting all the way up through the crown of the head, so really good posture. 4 more. 3. Shoulders back. 2. Hold it up, and we open the knees just a little bit as we come down into a plie. Keep your heels together and rise up. Down and up. Good. Now if this bothers your knees, you can do a small one, just a little demi-plie. Try to stay way up on the balls of the feet. We call that high half toe. 3 more. 2 more. Excellent. 1 more time. And come up, relax the heels down. Okay, if you need to switch the chair to the other side, we'll go into our toe raise with a wide plie squat. So we're back into first position. We lift up and step out. And up and out. So the leg that's on the floor, this left side, is the one that's actually getting the most work because it's staying grounded into the surface. So the muscles are always working on this side, while the right leg, you pick it up off the floor. So there's a place in time where it's floating. So the left side is the dominant one we're working here. Now you can vary the amount you step out. You can try a couple that are a little wider, and then you can come back in to a more narrow demi-plie. Maybe you're using the chair if you need, just to stabilize. Maybe just 1 finger on the chair. Now, if you want to pick up the pace on this side, here we go. Speed up, lift, open, lift, open. Good. And you're all the way up on the toes. You're strengthening the muscles in your feet, your ankles, your calves, the shins. And I definitely feel my heart rate picking up a little bit here. So let's make this a little bit more vigorous. And 5 more repetitions. Excellent. If you need a break before that, please take it. 3 more. Excellent. And 2. And 1. All the way up into that first position. Good. Now just lift and lower. Lift and lift. This is also nice to do if you can stand on a stair, because as you lower, you can drop your heels down past that level position and get a nice stretch. Good. Separating the legs a little bit in the front, wrap them together in the back. And let's hold it up. So we go down and up. Now I definitely need my chair for this one because up on the balls of the feet, it's really hard to keep balance. Good. Now in this plie, make sure you're not bending forward. So I'm staying straight up with my body, not leaning forward and sticking my butt out like a squat. So it's very different when we plie, keeping the body straight. 3 more. Squeeze your inner thighs to close the legs. 2 more. One more time. And relax those heels down. Okay, you need your hand weights. Make sure you still have space from side to side for your legs. Take the feet in a nice, comfortable, wide plie position. And we'll lower the legs down and up. I want you to notice that I'm not lifting my arms any higher than my shoulders. Now start it nice and slow so you get that feel of the exercise, no momentum. Now, if you have shoulder issues and this bothers you to lift your arms to the side, a nice option is just to lift your elbows to the side and do a little upright row here. Down and up. We've got 4 more. Now, although we're lifting the arms, our shoulders aren't coming up next to the ears. We're keeping them pressed down. 1 more. And then bring both weights right to your chest. We pulse. 3, 2, 1. Press above the head. 3, 2, 1. Press up. So we're low in the legs 3 times, then all the way to straight. If it bothers your shoulders to press above the head, here's your option. We'll straighten the arms down below. 3, 2, 1. So if you're straightening your arms down below, you're getting a bicep curl. So still strengthening, but safer for shoulder injuries. 5 more to go. Excellent. If the legs are getting tired, you can take out the squats. Zip up your abs. 3 more. Excellent. 2 more. Press up. 1 more. 3, 2, 1. Relax those arms. Step your feet in a little bit closer, but we still have a turnout with the toes. This is a curtsy lunge, so we'll cross one leg behind, step out, lift the opposite leg to the side. So we go back, lift, back, lift. Now with the weights, reach down and at an angle up. Reach down. So I'm twisting my body to the left and then extending to the right side using my obliques, abdominals. Let's try pointing your toe as you extend that leg out. So you're using your calf muscles. Point. 3. Point. 2. This can be done without weights as well. 1 more. And point. Come center, readjust. Take your left leg, cross behind, step out, lift the right. Woo, balance. Cross, lift. Whenever you're ready to add the arms, reach down, rotate, reach up on the diagonal. So on that curtsy lunge, we're using our quads and glutes, mostly on this right leg, the front leg. Then we're using the outer thigh on that same leg to lift up, pointing the toe. 5 more. Reach. Rotate, look down, look straight ahead. So I try not to ever look up when I'm pushing the weights above the head because it throws my head back and it can pinch your cervical vertebrae. So try not to look upward to the weights. Let's just 2 more. 1 more time. and rest. Okay, single leg deadlift. Place both weights in your left hand. Stand on your right foot. Now you might need your chair with your right hand for a little bit of balance here. So we're standing on that right leg. Left leg is behind you. And we tip down and up. From the side, down, up. Now try to squeeze that back leg buttock muscle, but it's the standing leg that we're actually really working as our prime mover. This is for our posterior chain, the muscles that go all the way down the back side of the body, from the lower back, maintaining good posture with the mid and upper back. Then all the way down the back of the leg, that hamstring, glutes, and calves. We've got 4 more. And up. 3. Should be really feeling it in that standing leg. 2. I'll come down and hold it right here. We'll do a 1-arm single row, pulling it up and down. Now, if this is feeling too strenuous, standing on that one leg, you can put the other foot down to the floor and do this in a lunge position rather than in that standing deadlift. Pull it up. Now, this is a strong muscle group. That's why I doubled up on my hand weights, but you can do it with just 1 as well. 3 more. Ooh, that standing leg's talking to me. 2 more. Last one. And pull yourself up. Ooh, okay, I want to stretch the standing leg. So stand on the opposite foot, cross the ankle over, and sink down into a little standing pigeon. You can also sit in your chair if you'd prefer for this stretch and just cross the ankle over and take that stretch. The further you fold forward, the more you're going to feel this in that muscle. All right, we need to do the other leg. So come on up. If you need to adjust your chair to the other side, you can do that as well. We'll be standing on our left leg. The weights are in the right hand. So keep your hips squared. When we stand on one leg, our hips want to do this so that it's easier for us to balance, but try to stay squared. And we'll lower down and pull up. Now, where do we breathe? For this one, I like to inhale coming forward and exhale to pull up. Your standing leg is not locked out. You've got a little softness in that knee. Pull up. And then just notice, where are you primarily feeling this exercise? Is it in your glute, in your hamstring? And with your mind, you can kind of put that energy where you want to feel it. The glutes are the dominant muscle, so I try not to let them do all the work. The hamstrings are weak, so that's where I want to put the energy, is right down the back of my leg. Let's do 3 more. Shoulders are squared. 2 more. And hold this last one down in position. Pull the elbow up and down. Now, if that standing leg is just really bothering you now, set the other foot to the floor. You've got to keep a little bit of a forward lean, though, to get the exercise, get the gravity in the right position. Pull up and down. Breathe. If you're using your chair for balance, just use it a little. Whatever you need to stay stable. 4 more. Pick it up. and down. Zip up your abs. Brace your lower back. 2. 1 more, up and down, and come all the way up. Excellent. Let's take a stretch for that leg. So I'm going to stand on the opposite foot, cross the leg we worked, and sink down into a standing pigeon, or have a seat right in your chair. Cross that leg over and stretch. Ooh. I'm also feeling this stretch a little bit in my lower back. It's a tight area for me sometimes. Couple more breaths. Okay. You can release your chair off to the side. We're coming to all fours position, hands and knees. And I do have my yoga blanket here to support the knees for a little bit of extra cushioning. If you need something like that, fantastic. So come down to hands and knees and have both of your hand weights available, one on each side of your body for easy access. Now, if you have wrist problems, you can make fists for wrists and come all the way up so that you have a flat wrist position and you're not overly flexing your wrists. But it's good to come into this flexed position at least for a little bit because it maintains our range of motion. Okay, pick up the weight in your right hand. You also might be able to double up your weights if you have really light ones. Bring your elbow up so it's level to your hip and the weight is facing down to the floor. So you have a 90-degree bend in that elbow. We're going to do a tricep kickback, straighten and bend. So really important with the kickback that you don't swing the weight forward towards the shoulder. You lose the work and you start to get momentum. So you want to stop halfway, or maybe even a little less than halfway to really keep the load in the muscle. Now, your option for core is to extend your left leg straight behind you and come into spinal balance. And we straighten and bend. So the back of your shoulder is working isometrically to keep your arm from falling down this way. So the shoulder is working the whole time, while the tricep is the prime mover to bend and straighten your elbow. Keep your head in nice neutral alignment and try not to lift your left hip up. So keep it dropped down to stay in that nice balanced neutral position. 4 and 3 and 2. Now straighten that arm, hold it straight, lift, lower, lift, lower. And I'm only coming down maybe about halfway. Now your tricep is working isometrically. There's no movement in your elbow, and your shoulder is doing the prime moving work. We have 9 more. 8, 7, reconnect with your abs. 6. Woo, can you stay with me 4 more? I need your help. 3, 2, and 1. Set that weight down. Come into child's pose. Reach the arms way out. Drop your forehead down. Take a couple breaths there. Now we're going to stretch that tricep we just worked in a low lunge. So walk yourself back up. So we just used our right arm. So I want you to step your left foot forward and come up into a low lunge. Bring your right arm, the one you worked with the weight, up, bend your elbow, and then pull it with your left hand to take a stretch. This is going to also release this right hip flexor. So you want to make sure that knee is back behind you. We'll open up just a couple more breaths. All right, release that arm down. Come back to all fours. And we'll need the weight in the left hand. And I'm going to spin around just for good view of the camera so that my arm isn't behind the view of my body. So left hand now. Bring that elbow up so it's level with the shoulder and the floor. Straighten and bend. Now, if you want, you can stay on both knees. You don't have to go to spinal balance, or we can extend that right leg back. And when we do that, the hips want to come out of alignment. So as best as you can with your proprioception, try to determine if your right hip is rising up or not. Straighten and bend. So again, the posterior shoulder is called the stabilizer here. It's working, but without any movement of the joint. Our tricep, back of the upper arm, is the prime mover. Exhale to straighten. 3 more. Your own pace. 2. And hold this arm up. We go lift, lower, lift, lower. Try not to hunch your shoulder up. Check your abs, make sure they're pulled in. Your lower back isn't sagging. And your cervical spine is neutral. We have 9 reps to go. 8, 7, 6. The weight gets too heavy, set it down, but keep moving the arm. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set the knee down, release the weight. Take a nice little child's pose. And you're basically stretching the arm you worked in the opposite direction. So it was behind you while we worked. So now it's out in front of you to stretch. And then let's set up for our low lunge. So since we worked our left arm, our right foot will step forward. Come up to that nice low lunge, lift the left arm, bend your elbow, reach for it with the right hand, give it a pull back, and lengthen from the front of the left hip all the way up through your elbow. A couple more breaths here. And then release that arm. Come back to all fours. And we've got some kneeling push-ups. So we'll bring our knees and then come to hands, and we can do this with the least amount of workload. If we're on all fours, we can bend your elbows down towards the floor and straighten. And I'm not bringing them out to the sides, I'm bringing them down towards the mat. Or we can walk the hands forward a little bit and drop the hips. And same thing. Nice and slow. These can be small because we just worked our triceps already. So sometimes this is called a superset. When we do a couple of different exercises that focus on the same muscle group. Let's get 3 more for 10. 2 more. Last one. And then 1 more child's pose, stretching the arms out in front. So we'll come into a nice Pilates set of exercises from our seat. And if you've got a little bit of padding there, you might want to sit on that for your tailbone. Your weights are close by on either side of your mat. So in Pilates, we have 2 different positions in our spinal alignment. We have what we call straight back. So if I keep my spine in a nice neutral position and I just hinge back without changing the position of my spine, and come up. This is known as straight back. Then we have round back. So if I curve my spine and roll back and I keep this scoop here in the belly, that's our round back position. So we'll start with round. Bring the arms in front. Start with neutral spine. Tuck your tailbone under. Roll back and roll up. Now it's up to you how far back you want to go with this. You want to go back far enough to challenge yourself, but so that you can come back up with good form. So try not to cross the point of no return where you can't get back up. And roll. Now when we're coming into round back, our chin slightly tucks, but not to where it touches your sternum. I want you to think about a little orange or tangerine being right underneath your chin. Focus on your abdominals right here in front as you curve and roll back. Now, this C curve or round back movement is great to work the abdominals, but to be fair, it also promotes poor posture because we don't want to train ourselves to be hunched all the time. So I also like straight back work a lot. So now let's come into a neutral spine and just hinge without rounding. And come up. Hinge. And come up. So when we breathe in Pilates, the beginner's breath or the basic breath is we want to exhale during the hardest part of the exercise. So that's right here, correct? That's your exhale and then inhale when we're up. So let's try 3 of those. Exhale. Inhale up. 2 more. Why is that the basic breath? Is that when we exhale, we can use our abdominals better to brace our lower back. And come up. Okay, intermediate breathing is the reverse. So we're going to inhale when we go back, exhale when we're up. Ready. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now this is harder to support a neutral spine when you're taking a breath in. 3 more. 2 more. One more. And relax. So with your hand weights, I want to come into that straight back position. Bring your weights right here in front of your shoulders, and I kind of have them parallel. Take a straight back position, hold it. So you're going to be wherever you want to be here, and you can maintain stability. Press the weights up towards the ceiling and come back in. So the further back you are, the more of a chest press this is. If you're more upright, this is more of an overhead press. So it just depends on where your body is oriented in space. Now you might feel if you go back quite a bit like your feet want to lift up off the floor. So if you can pick them up and balance, you can bend your knees, you can straighten your legs. Lots of options here. Without weights is an option. 4 more. Straight back position. 3. And 2. 1 more. If your feet are up, set them down and come all the way up and set your weights down. I love to do a butterfly stretch after a teaser position or abdominal work leaning back. So open your knees and fold your body through. Relax through your lower back, mid back, between your shoulder blades and your inner thighs. Okay, we're going to come back into that straight back position again for the Pilates 100. Now, with or without hand weights, arms are in front, bodies lean back a little bit, shoulders are down. And we just press the palms slightly down. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. You can also pick up your knees. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Now this is a small movement, so if I'm doing it with hand weights, it's teeny tiny. 10 of these breaths makes the 100. In classical Pilates, it's done in counts of 5, but that doesn't work with 32 count phrasing of the music. So I like the 4 count breath better. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. 3 more. 2. 1. And come up. So what if you're saying to me, Lisa, that hurts my back? Sometimes when the abdominals get really tired and they let go and they're not working as much as they should, you feel this in your lower back. So if that's you, you want to stop when you start to feel that. Come up a little bit more, set your feet down, whatever you need to do to reduce the intensity of that exercise. Okay, let's come all the way down onto our backs. You've still got your weights, and we're going to do the dead bug, not the dead LisaBug. All right. So with the weights in the hands, right above the shoulders, we're going to stack our knees in tabletop. And again, if your back is hurting you to do this, go ahead and let your feet set on the ground, because we can do this with the feet lowered as well as lifted. So we take the right leg, go out, bring it in. Left leg, out, bring it in. Now I want you to try to come into imprinted spine. What does that mean? You're pushing your lower back down into the floor. If your feet are down, you go out and in and set the foot down. Out and in. Now maybe for you today, you don't add the arms in, which is absolutely fine. If you're adding the arms, bring them over the head as the leg goes out just a little and back in. As the arms go over, it's harder to keep that imprinted spine. Maybe you just want to do one arm. And if you do, it's the opposing arm from the leg that's extending out. So you're working opposites. Left leg, right arm, or both arms. Now we can go back into that breathing pattern. If you're doing the beginner basic breath, you're going to exhale when everything's long. Breathe out. Breathe in when you're back to center. Intermediate breathing is the opposite. Breathe in as everything goes long. Breathe out when you come back to center. 5 more. You choose that option, and without weights is also an option. 4, 3. Looking good, looking good. 2. 1 more. And relax your feet down for a moment. Rest your arms. I'll place your feet firmly into the mat and do a pelvic tilt. So I'm squeezing my buttocks a little bit, almost lifting my tailbone off the floor, curving my lower back down into the floor. That should feel really good. So we'll come back to tabletop, or just with feet flat on the ground. Weights are back up. So we'll open both arms out and close together. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Try to imprint that lower back a little bit. Now to work the core a little bit more with this one, we're going to open one arm at a time. So take your right arm out. Notice your body wants to go that direction. And then take your left arm out. So that's where the core is really going to anchor. You can either place the exhale when the arm is out for the basic breath, or the inhale. 2 more on each arm. Stabilize. Feet can come down if this feels better. And 1 more each side. And then lower those feet down. Lower your weights to the side and rest. Let's take a nice hamstring stretch so the right leg comes up. If you have your yoga strap, it's a nice option to place under the bottom of the foot. And lengthen that leg up, elongating the muscle. So the last few minutes of our class today are going to be flexibility. So make sure you have yourself in a nice, comfortable position, that you're slowing down your breath. You're comfortably stretching the muscles to your own range of motion. Now we can also slide that lower leg down. And we are going to stretch this leg across the midline just a tiny bit to lengthen through your IT band. So not enough that this hip lifts off the floor, just a tiny lengthen across. You can also counterbalance with your other arm out to the side. And relax through the shoulders, through your face. Now, if you feel like you need a lot more for your IT band, I want you to stay here. If you're feeling you need a twist, then you can bend this knee and come all the way over. So choose the one that you need the best this morning. And when you get to the other side, it might be opposite of what you're doing here. It's whatever your body needs in that present moment. Let's take 3 more breaths. And 3 more breaths of gratitude for this opportunity to take care of your body. If you're in the twist, come back to neutral. We'll release that strap from the bottom of the foot and then place it under the left foot. Extend that leg up. If you're not using a strap, you can just hold behind the thigh. I like to place the strap under the ball of the foot so I can flex it down nicely to get the stretch in the calf as well. Right leg can lengthen all the way down to release this hip flexor. And then just a gentle IT band stretch. That leg will come across the midline just a bit. We'll feel it better if we can get this leg pretty straight. If we've got a big deep bend in the knee, we're not going to feel that IT band as much. So keep lengthening out your yoga strap until you can get that leg straight. Even if it's down here and that's all the range of motion you have, bring it across and you're going to feel that move into the outside of the hip and the thigh. And then if you need more here for IT band, remain as you are for a few more breaths, or we can bend the knee and bring this across into a twist. If you're twisting, the shoulder blades stay firm into the mat. Head can be in neutral alignment, or you can look the opposite direction of the knee. And 3 more breaths. And then if you're in the twist, bring the knee back to center, releasing the strap. And then hold behind the thighs. We can make some leg circles. You can hold across the knees. And you can move the knees in the same direction, or you can do egg beater circles. So the knees will open, coming out and around. And then you'd want to reverse and go the other way. And then take your time to come to seated. So you can either roll over onto your side and sit up, or hold behind your legs and rock yourself until you come up to a comfortable seat. We'll come into a wide leg forward fold. We can either have the toes pointed if you prefer a Pilates position, or we can flex the feet a little bit more yoga oriented. Place the hands in the center and walk the fingertips forward until you feel that nice stretch. And we have the calves stretching, the inner thighs, the hamstrings, the lower back. You can also use your yoga block to hold the hands on. Come down to that good range of motion. And then walk the hands both over to the right side and try to turn your torso towards that leg. Maybe you can reach the big toe. Maybe you're using your yoga strap here to help you pull down on that side. 2 more breaths. Now we're staying over this right leg, but rotate your torso so it faces the middle and reach the left arm over. Stretch, stretch, stretch that left side waist, but try not to let your left sitting bone come off the floor. You can turn your head up, keep it neutral, or you can look down. And breathing into the left side rib cage. And then rotate back towards the floor, walk the hands through the middle, all the way over to that left side. Try to align your torso towards that leg. And maybe you're way up here, this is okay, wherever you feel the stretch, or grab that strap, give yourself some assistance here. And then staying on this left side, rotate the torso back towards the front. I am reaching this left arm kind of underneath my body and over with the right. Noticing any imbalances between right and left side, being accepting of those imbalances, our strengths and weaknesses, and our mindfulness of those help us to get stronger every day. And then we'll turn back towards the floor, walking to the middle one last time, and maybe noticing, can you go further now? Right down through the center. 2 breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, nose or mouth. 1 more breath. Walk those hands in. And we'll finish with a nice breath together, reaching up. And let the palms connect. Drop the thumbs to the heart. And it is my honor and my pleasure to guide you through this mind-body blend workout. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. For those of you that need to run, I'll see you next time. If you can stay on for a couple of minutes, I would love to chat and say hi after a couple of weeks off. Thank you, everybody.